We are finally back with another investigation. Once again, I apologize for the hiccups that happened in May, but we are back. We are doing 2 episodes this month. We're doing episode 6 in July, which is the schedule that I wanted to follow so that we can start the new mystery in August. Before we get into the investigation, I want to thank my friend Donna. She makes my thumbnails for the YouTube videos, and she made this image for me because there just wasn't anything out there for off the record that I could find on the internet that I liked, that I wanted to use as sort of a background filler. So thank you, Donna. I appreciate all of your hard work. Anyhow, let's get into our investigation. And we start here where we start every single investigation, with our letter from the person that hired us, Detective. So after that threat came through, I was telling Reggie about it, and they kind of freaked. They insisted I move in with them just for a little bit, out of an abundance of caution. It was weird at first, but I think they felt better once I was in the apartment, and now they're not alone anymore. So anyway, I'm staying on Reggie's couch. I've got a neighbor checking on my plants, and she'll let me know if anyone comes around looking for me. She doesn't know where I am, though. No one does. Just you and Reggie. So if anything happens to Frannie, it's either my fault or Reggie's fault. In other news, I've got people convinced I'm focused on work again, and I've been keeping an eye on everyone and everything at the campaign office. Looking through some files, I found a warranty for a Val Home Assistant. A quick search, and I saw that someone installed one in the break room, probably to make ordering food and office supplies easier, and Frannie wrote Spy Robot next to Val Home Assistant. We all know that Siri and Alexa listen to what we say. I told everyone at the start of the campaign that those things were huge InfoSec risks. But does anyone listen to Frannie? Well, it works out for us because now that I know we've got a Val hanging around listening in on everything, I have a full transcript of anything anyone has ever said around it. She's Big Sister now. Like Big Brother's listening, well, Big Sister's listening. I try to watch Sebastian whenever I can. I'm still not super sure how he factors into all of this, but I've been keeping a close eye on him, and recently I've noticed he's been up to some weird shenanigans. He writes notes on bank statements and then redacts them. There's something suspicious there, right? So I dug through while he was in the bathroom and grabbed a page of transactions from the week of Ashley's murder. Maybe you'll find something. So if Sebastian is messing with the bank statements, then maybe he's let something slip about budget or finances that could give us some insight into what he's up to. There's a lot of noise in the Val transcript, so I can search for anything having to do with money and got a few hits. Reggie got their hands on the Richards campaign statements, and I also searched Judith's emails for any references to money and found a few that might tell us what they were up to. Reggie works afternoons at the community chest. Don't tell anyone about this. It's our little secret. I know things have been dicey, but now we can follow a money trail, and that's a thing they always check, right? Follow the money. I'm not so dense that I think we'll be lucky enough to solve it all right here, but I'd bet we can narrow down our suspect list again. Hit me up on the app when you have the full name of a suspect we can eliminate. The new password is hardware with a backwards 3. P.S. Just in case, hang on to this. And I'm gonna not drag this out any further. There's no indication anywhere in this what the shift is. Clearly this is a shift cipher, but there's no indication what the shift is, so I don't think we're supposed to solve this now. I didn't even bother to try to piece it together and solve it. Anybody who thinks they want to jump ahead, I'm just going to say there's 2 3-letter words here. How many 3-letter words can we think of that maybe we could use to do a shift? The, you, however, if it's a name like Tom or Bob or Bill or whatever, or Bill's 4 letters. You know what I mean? Like, you can try to break this without a shift, without a clue, by trying to find common 3-letter words and trying to see if you can shift letters to figure it out. But I didn't bother to do that. I'm just going to wait for the mystery to want us to solve that. So I'm setting it aside for now and moving on. Next, we have Reggie's letter. Dear Detective, thank you for everything you've done. Knowing we're on the path to finding Ash's killer means a lot. I hate to think that whoever did this gets to walk around and enjoy their day while my parents can hardly leave the house and Ashley is buried in the dirt. Someone needs to be held accountable. I asked Frannie to move in with me until this is all over. When she got that threat, there was no way I was going to let what happened to Ash happen to her too. Ashley was in over her head, despite all her precautions, and it cost us everything. I should have made sure she was safe. We need to admit the danger is real and act accordingly. We need to look out for each other. Having Frannie here has been a great incentive to get myself together. It's easier to get up and make breakfast when there's someone to share it with. Frannie's a good roommate, but it's not the same as having Ash here. I'd never complain about another dirty coffee cup or early morning workout video if I could have Ash back. But having something to focus on gets me through the day. Frannie and I have been organizing Ashley's papers to make sure we're not overlooking any clues. About what I'm sending you, I work part-time in the community chest, and when Frannie brought home these bank statements, something clicked. I found a corresponding version from that week lying around for you. I also found this pill case on Ash's desk. Ashley wasn't on any medication, and it was sitting next to her to investigate pile on her desk. There's got to be something to it. I'm sending it along with the few other things in the pile. Thanks for taking care of her stuff. Keep at it, detective. We're going to get whoever did this. Truly, Reggie. So, Reggie's all in on this. This letter, I'm going to this letter sort of struck me as not, I don't know, there's just something about the way Reggie said, it makes it easier to get up and make breakfast when there's someone to share it with. That just really struck me. I don't know why, not to be sentimental, but like that resonated a chord with me. And so good on you, Honey Killer, for making things realistic, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And then we have a chalk, I guess, although it looks like watercolor. I can't tell if it's chalk or watercolor because it's just a copy. And the reason I say it's watercolor is because the lighter shades, although you can do that with chalk, I don't know. I'm sure it is chalk, but it just reminds me of watercolor. Anyhow, that's beside the point. Moving forward from that, the Richards campaign bank statement. Now, this is the bank statement for Monday through Sunday. And so I'm going to use this as the example. Figuring out how to read it, looking at these stamps and trying to determine their time stamps. So they have to tell us a time. I don't think, time-wise, that these transactions happened at 950 o'clock. Also, I don't think that these transactions happened at 1 o'clock. So it took me a minute. Like, I make these videos and I fly through this stuff in 45 minutes to an hour, and I've got it all figured out when I do that. So you guys don't see the time that I stare at this and say, what is this trying to tell me? What I did determine after staring at it for a long time, walking away, coming back and looking at it, because this took me a minute. I don't know why. It may be because I've been out of practice for a minute. On the far right, the 01, 02, 03, 04, 05, 06, 07, those correspond to days of the week, Monday through Sunday. So 01s are Monday's transactions, 02s are Tuesday's transactions, 03s are Wednesdays, so on and so forth, 07 are Sundays, which means the timestamps next to them make a lot more sense. These transactions happening 10 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, 5 o'clock at night. I was in the military, so military time is essentially easy for me to transfer. For those of you that don't know how to read military time or want a simple way to figure out what military time is, if it's a number higher than 12, so 14, 17, 13, you subtract 12. So 14 becomes 2 in the afternoon. 13 minus 12 becomes 1, 1 in the afternoon. 20 minus 12 becomes 8, 8 o'clock at night. 15 minus 12 becomes 3, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So that's how you read military time. I just wanted to cover that real quick, because it's going to be important for solving this, translating what the timestamp means and how it works. You can see it's going to come up, so I might as well point it out. Where is it? GD bank account number 88XXXX, $2,500 out. Wire transfer. That just comes up shortly, and I just wanted to show it on here. One of the things that I love about Hunt a Killer is their attention to detail. This is the backside of this bank statement. Page 1 of 2. So they printed two-sided document. Of course, the campaign is saving paper, but the fact that it says 1 of 2 and 2 of 2, and Hunt a Killer actually bothered to put the fine print that would be at the bottom of the page. There wasn't enough room on the page to print it, so it wound up on the top of the second page. I just think is phenomenal attention to detail, and those are the things about Hunt a Killer that I truly appreciate. Now we have the Richards campaign emails, and I realize that they are small to look at, but they're not in and of themselves as important as much as they are sort of a little comical in a way to me. So, hi Lewis, I hope you're doing well. I was just going over the campaign's finances and I saw that somebody made a wire transfer Tuesday morning to a GD bank account. Any idea what this is? It was for over $2,000, so hopefully someone knows. I'm not pointing fingers, but you know where they would point if I was. And then Lewis says, why are you asking me? I'm a lot of things, but I'm not the one who can't be trusted. I make one wire transfer to my bank account every Wednesday morning at the chest. GD Bank is Canadian. Make of that what you will. Cheers, Louis Vanzetti. Lewis, I have spoken to Harold and I apologize for my initial message if my initial message sounded accusatory. It was Harold who authorized the transaction. On an unrelated note, I think our campaign could really do with some more boots on the ground activity, and I think Harold would agree. I've left a large Harry Vermeer sign on your desk. When you make it into the office, could you please grab that and then head over to Main Street, the traffic light in front of the dry cleaners? You used to spin signs when you were a teenager, right? I hope you haven't gotten rusty because we could use this kind of energy. Might want to bundle up too. I've heard it's cold front is coming. Best to Judith Richards. To which Lewis replies, nope. You gonna throw a glass at me if I don't? And then Harold jumps into the thread and says, both of you stop, this isn't productive. So that makes me laugh in and of itself, because clearly Lewis is not afraid of alienating or agitating Judith, who is Harold's wife. Lewis is not afraid of Judith. Lewis doesn't care if he pushes buttons. Clearly he's not worried about getting in trouble or what have you. So then the third page, Harry, I was going through the campaign's recent bank statement and saw a wire for over $2,000 to a GD bank account. I called the bank for more information and they said all transfers over $2,000 must be done at the Eastern Union Station. But I thought you were working early at the time the transaction occurred. Please tell me there's a legit campaign reason for this expenditure and we don't have a thief working in our office. So that's important to know. Anything over $2,000 has to be done in person at the Eastern Union office. And then, sorry, I forgot to tell you, I found a company up north who can cut us some deals on marketing ads. It was too good of an opportunity to pass up. Sorry, I didn't tell you. I was taking care of that during a work break. Sure, I can't wait to see those Canadian ads. Remember, Harold had a child when he was up in Canada going through rehab. Had a child with a woman in Canada. So Judith is like, yeah, sure, campaign ads, whatever. I was thinking that since you're trying to sell yourself as the 21st century family man, you should probably start pulling your weight at home. I'm going to be taking some time off this weekend so you can show off your fathering skills while I'm away. I hope I can trust you to handle that. How could you pass up such a great opportunity to spend time with your kids? Also, I'm going to need to increase the campaign security budget. There have been a few expenses that I have had my eye on which will make sure you are protected. A new 45, fur-lined ballistics vest, tactical boots, 24-hour security for the twins. As the person in charge of your safety, I think it's critical that no expense is spared, and I know you won't object since we're saving so much money on the campaign ads. So Harold is making excuses for sending his child in Canada money, and in return for that, Judith is like, oh, I understand, but since we're saving so much money, I'm gonna go buy some stuff, and you have to watch the kids all weekend. I just think it's funny. It made me chuckle when I read that. Once again, don't forget the importance of this is any transfers over $2,000 must be done in person at the Eastern Union office. Then we get to Ashley's notes, outline, whatever you want to call it. And there really is nothing to reference here other than the T. Someone at the preceding event charity auction knows the truth. Truth has never been told. Real perpetrator got off scot-free. Innocent man paid the price. Police cover-up. The corruption has permeated the town. So Ashley is saying what I've said before I saw this, before there was even a hint. When I first read about the accident and Lewis coming back, I said that Lewis was not the one who caused the accident. I've always believed that. And now it turns out that as the investigation unfolds, clearly I may be closer to being correct than I thought. I guess I am a regular Sherlock Holmes. Not really. It was kind of predictable, like every movie ever has played that out. And I think that was it on here. We need to wait until more things play out to see if we need to pay anything else, pay any other attention to what's going on here. But this is really just a layout of what we already know about the crash. Except for the note, police cover-up. Remember, when we read the accident reports, Judith Richards was the police officer that took the statements. And this was, early 20s. So this was before Judith and Harold were together. But Judith Richards is the one that took the police statements from Harold Richards and from Louis Vanzetti. So keep that in mind as we go forward with this. Next, we come to the pill case that had the note in it for Wednesday. And so solving the riddle. So at least the first two cases, I'm gonna say every case, although because it's happened in the two that we've gotten, but maybe it isn't every case. Hunt a Killer will give you clues or instructions on how to solve the ciphers. Don't forget, in Mallory Rock, there were cipher instructions on our dashboard that we shared with Gwen, and in Off the Record, our cipher instructions came in the back of Ashley's notebook. And so following the cipher instructions, we find the words that are misspelled. And most of them are only missing one letter. One letter is not there and it's been replaced, except for one word which had two letters replaced. But you take the missing, you put in the missing letters and you write them down separately. So being is missing a B. Overtly should be overly. Quiet should be quiet. Sorry. I misspelled that. That's my bad. I messed up quiet. Spelling error. But anyhow, so doing all that, replacing those letters, it says bringing proof. So they set up the meeting. Ashley set up a meeting with an informant for the library that evening. And he said he was bringing proof. So we don't know who her informant was. We don't know if her informant showed up and killed her. We don't know if her informant showed up, she got the proof, and then she was killed and the proof was stolen. We don't know anything about any of that. So But I think that cipher is kind of cool. Like, it wasn't really challenging. They gave us the instructions, and the instructions were easy to follow. Some people, if you didn't know the instructions were there, may have missed how to solve it or what you needed to do. But I really like the ciphers. I know some people hate them. Sometimes they're tedious, but I think that for the most part, they're kind of cool. My favorite cipher out of all of them is still the book cipher. I love the book cipher. I don't know why. I don't know why that's my favorite, but I really love the book cipher. Anyhow, this brings us to the TFC campaign statement, the one that is heavily redacted by what looks like a 9-year-old. Good gracious. So so if you feel the paper, and you can't because you're not looking at it, in the redaction, you can feel what feels like if you write with a pen on something, and on the back of the paper, you can feel how the pen has put dents, like you can rub your finger over it and you can feel the words. That's what happened here behind the redaction. So these scribbles that we know Sebastian did it because Frannie said that she snatched this from Sebastian's desk when he went to the bathroom, that he writes on bank statements and then redacts it. I don't know why he does that, but so all of the redactions I transcribed, and what I wrote is exactly what's written there. This one says family for $2,500. This one says special treatment for $35.43.17. We don't know what that is. This one says Bo from V donation, and we'll get into that in a minute. This one just says charity, and this one says campaign event. Now, this is where we get into the solution. So, we know that Ashley was killed between 7:45 and 8:15 on a Wednesday. We know that Wednesday, if Monday's the first day, Wednesday would be the third day. Monday 1, Tuesday 2, Wednesday 3, Thursday 4, Friday 5, Saturday 6, Sunday 7. So if we go to these numbers here, we're looking for a 3. And then we're looking for a 3 sometime between 1945 and 2045. And right here, 03, 19 being 7. Remember, subtract 12 from 19, that's 7. So at 7:49, a wire transfer was made. 7:49 on the night that Ashley was killed, a wire transfer was made during the time that she was being killed. I didn't find anything. Actually, I take that back. My assumption at this point was that the person who handles the bank statements, who has the freedom to make notes on them, to scribble on them, to leave them laying on his desk so he's not doing it in secret, that person who's doing this must be the one who is handling the accounting or the finances in the office. And if that is the case, family, this here wire transfer having to be done in person because it's over $2,000, I put my money on Sebastian Dyer because he's the one handling the bank statements, to be the one in charge of the finances, to be the one that would be able to go in and wire transfer money. So that's where I'm going with this. Right now, Sebastian Dyer is the person who could not have killed Ashley Mendoza because he was at the Eastern Union transferring the money. To sort of back that up, moving forward, we can look at the transcripts, and these are small. Hold on, you know what? I am going to see if we can't blow this up a little tiny bit, because that was just too small to try to read. So this is a little bit better. Um, so there are a few boxes in this transcript. Most of it is boring, mundane stuff, and we don't necessarily know who is talking. But the first box on this page I'm going to read. Speaker. Buy my own things, pay my own bills. These diamond rings are my automobiles. Everything I got, I bought on my own. I bought it. Oh, hey, boss. So first off, those are the lyrics from a song by Kesha. So someone's in the off break room by themselves singing a Kesha song when TFC walks in. And he's like, "Oh, hey, boss, sorry about that. You heading out early?" "I was thinking about it. Gotta make sure the lot is clean." Then the person, "Oh, right. Is Kim going with you?" "She should be there already. What are you up to?" So we already know that the person that we're talking to, Thomas is talking to, is not Kim. Just finishing some paperwork is all need me. There are no comments. This is running together. I apologize. Just finishing some paperwork is all. Need me to do anything before I leave? Just make sure you lock up when you're done. You've got it, boss. Let me know if you need me to stop by tonight. So we know two things. We know it's not Kim. We know, actually, three things. We know it's not Kim. We know they like Kesha. And we know that they have enough pull or authority or whatever to be able to lock up when they're done doing paperwork. So those are the three things we know from that. So that leads me to believe that that is Sebastian, because Sebastian is the assistant to TFC. So then that gets me to page 3. And I'm going to blow it up some more. So this is page 3. And this is on Thursday. And TFC says, "I know, fine fare. How about for the campaign yesterday?" Well, thank God Harry's wife tried to drop kick a journalist. "Oh yeah, that was a great conversation starter for the cocktail hour." "Great, let's hope it stays that way. Benjamin said we'll get the transfer Friday. We can contract out some cheap ads next week. I think we can make a subtle suggestion about how you stay calm in the face of adversity." "That's actually brilliant. That'll drive Harry nuts." Speaker. Well, when you hire the best," Thomas goes without saying, "then listen to me on this. Stay away from the press. In fact, stay away from most people if possible." Thomas. "Well, I'm going to work from home to avoid any other surprise guests." "Yeah, if Lewis shows up here again, I'll take care of it." Thomas. "Thank you." And Thomas, "No more secrets. I can't solve problems I don't know about." Thomas. "Agreed. I'm heading out." So the key in this is that Benjamin said that we'll get the transfer Friday. So remember on the bank statement, there was that large $69,000 transfer that came in. Was it $69,000? Where's my bank statement? There was the large, $69,000 bank statement. BO from V. So maybe the B in BO is Benjamin. Then we get to the really, really important one for this episode. And that's the middle box. "Let's be serious. Come on, this is, excuse me, shut up. Okay, I buy my own things. I pay my own bills. These diamond rings, my automobiles, everything I got, I bought it. Boys can't buy my love. Hey, oh, sorry, I messed that up. No emergency. Ha ha. No, I'm fine. Just wanted to make sure you got that gift. Yep, I sent it last night. Or I guess your morning. That's it. Good. Glad it made it to you. Take care. Oh, by God. Oh, yeah. I don't know. I think Frannie had said that there was static, and so some of the translation may not be exact. So I feel like, oh, by God. Oh, like, I feel like that was a translation that's inaccurate. You know how sometimes when you dictate text to Siri and she just hears it however she wants to? I kind of feel like this is the same thing. Yeah, I'm trying love. Ciao, bye. So this is Thursday. This is the wire transfer, Sebastian, we think, sent the wire transfer on Thursday. This is Sebastian in the break room singing, gets a phone call, says, yeah, I sent it last night. So that tells me they're talking about the wire transfer that Sebastian sent to family on Wednesday. And then the last thing I want to read is the bottom part of this. Thomas, a little late for lunch, isn't it? Speaker, I got caught up in those plans for the King Street site. Thomas, they look good. It's really coming together. Sorry I have to take this. Yeah, this is... Yes, I'll hold for Mr. Owings. Thank you, Benjamin. Hello, yes, I'm fine, thank you. Could you put it on speaker, please? Thomas asked her to put it on speaker, and she's like, no, not you, Ben. Sorry, Thomas is here with me. And then Thomas says, tell him hello for me. So he said put it on speaker. It didn't get put on speaker. So now Thomas, like, I don't know why she didn't listen to him about putting it on speaker, but that's the important part. So now we know that BO is Benjamin Owings. So that is the BO on the bank statement that we were looking at. Benjamin Owings, who is the president, leader, head of Valdavan. And so from this point, we went to the message board and we told Frannie that it was Sebastian Dyer. And her reply was, Sebastian again? Really? I've been thinking he's pretty suspicious. Let me take a look. You're right. I just traced the transaction he was talking about to a bank in, Portugal. And the account is owned by an Inez Silva. Take a look. So, Inez Silva, that's the account that Sebastian, Angel Silva, sent the money to. He must be sending money back to his family. Is that what? Yeah. He must be sending money back to his family. If Sebastian was at the Eastern Union transfer station that night, there's no way he could have gotten to the library in time. Sebastian always seemed like a decent guy, even if he does have some secrets. Glad to know he's not a killer. I'm going to write this up for the blog. 2 seconds. Thanks for the expert investigating, detective. You can check out the new update here. We're getting closer. I'm going to look over everything again and put together our next step. Expect more from me in the mail. And so the blog that, remember, Frannie is keeping Ashley's blog going, which is why Frannie's getting death threats. But anyhow, one more down. I've confirmed Sebastian Dyer was on the other side of town helping family. He couldn't possibly have gotten to the scene of the crime in time to commit the murder. Turns out not everyone who has secrets is secretly a killer. With Sebastian cleared, the lineup of persons of interest is getting smaller. I'll keep scratching them all off the list one by one, and it won't be long before Ashley's killer is exposed. Every day we learn more about what Ashley was uncovering in the days leading up to the murder. We will finally discover what's really happening and why. And to the killer, yeah, I got your message. Nothing you can do to stop the truth from coming to light. Updates coming soon. And so for the most part, that is that's all of the contact we've had with Frannie. Let's take a look at the leaf. The little squeeze ball leaf that came in from Valdavan of Copper Cliffs. The future is coming. I feel like Valdavan, like we have the V-mail, that must be Valmail, Valdavan. We had the Val Home Assistant, like the Echo Dot. I feel like Valdavan must be... At first, I thought it was going to be some oil company or some mining company that's going to exploit the land. But now I feel like Valdavan is like Google or Amazon. They're just a corporate mega giant. And that's what all the protests are about. I don't think they're like harmful for the environment. I think they're just evil company. I mean, not evil companies, but they're just large companies that people have a problem with. I'm beginning to believe that. But that's where our investigation leaves off for this episode. We will be back 2 weeks from today And we will do episode 5 unboxing, and then the following Thursday we'll have the investigation video posted. So we're back on our normal schedule. Once again, I really am sorry about May. If anybody has any questions, comments, criticisms, concerns, good, bad, indifferent, whatever, please feel free to leave them down below. And once again, I hope that you all have a great week.